Michael never imagined his world would come crashing down so suddenly. It all began with a seemingly harmless claim his wife, Jessica, had lost her wedding rings. At first, he brushed it off as a simple mistake, nothing more than an absent-minded moment. But soon, an unsettling discovery would change his life forever. One afternoon, while cleaning out Jessica's car, Michael's hand brushed against something beneath the passenger seat. His breath hitched as he pulled out the object, a used condom. His pulse pounded in his ears, his mind scrambling for an explanation. Disbelief turned to nausea and then to fury. Was this what he thought it was? Michael, a dedicated software engineer from Chicago, had always been a trusting husband. He had worked tirelessly to provide a comfortable life for his family, often overlooking the subtle changes in Jessica's behavior. But now, with the damning evidence in his hand, he could no longer ignore the warning signs. Jessica, an independent and charismatic freelance interior designer, had recently become more distant. Her late nights, vague excuses about client meetings, and increasing secrecy around her phone had all raised red flags. She had even started muting notifications and flipping her phone screen down whenever he was near. Though these small changes had unsettled him, he had pushed his concerns aside. Until now, their home, nestled in a quiet Chicago suburb, had always been a picture of middle-class stability. But behind the closed doors of their seemingly perfect life, an invisible rift had been growing. And now, Michael was staring at undeniable proof that something was terribly wrong. That evening, he confronted Jessica, carefully observing her reaction as he revealed what he had found. Her face went pale for a fleeting second before she quickly regained composure. With a rehearsed calmness, she claimed a friend had borrowed the car recently and must have left it behind. Her words were smooth, almost too smooth. The explanation felt hollow, lacking the sincerity he desperately needed to believe. Though her expression remained neutral, Michael sensed the underlying tension in her voice. He didn't argue. Instead, he simply nodded, his outward demeanor composed, but inside, his emotions churned violently. His mind replayed every suspicious moment from the past few months. Her distant behavior, the secretive phone habits, the unexplained absences. The puzzle pieces had fallen into place. That night, he lay awake, staring at the ceiling, his heart heavy with doubt. The used condom wasn't just a coincidence. It was a symptom of something deeper, something he could no longer ignore. Determined to uncover the truth, Michael made a decision. He needed solid proof. Confrontations based on suspicion alone wouldn't get him anywhere. If Jessica was hiding something, she had likely covered her tracks well. The next morning, he discreetly began searching for a private investigator. After careful research, he found David, a highly experienced PI known for his ability to uncover even the most well-hidden secrets. What David would soon uncover would make Michael's blood run cold. A devastating truth unfolds. In a discreet downtown office, Michael sat across from David, the private investigator he had hired. The man's calm, composed nature put him somewhat at ease, offering a glimmer of reassurance in the chaos of his emotions. With a steady voice, David assured him that discretion and efficiency were his priorities. Taking a deep breath, Michael laid out his concerns. Jessica's increasing distance, her frequent late nights, her secrecy with her phone, and most disturbingly, what he had discovered in her car. David listened intently, occasionally nodding as he asked precise, insightful questions. Then he outlined his plan. He would closely monitor Jessica's movements, discreetly documenting everything without raising suspicion. For the first time in weeks, Michael felt a semblance of control over a situation that had spiraled far beyond his grasp. Without delay, David began his surveillance. He blended seamlessly into the backdrop of Jessica's daily life, tracking her whereabouts, recording her interactions, and taking meticulous notes on her activities. Days stretched into weeks, and with each update, Michael's anxiety grew. Part of him craved the truth. He needed to know if his worst fears were justified. Yet at the same time, he dreaded the confirmation of betrayal, knowing the pain it would bring. His emotions became a relentless battle between anger, sorrow, and an unwavering resolve to see things through. Every time his phone buzzed with a message from David, his heart pounded with a mix of anticipation and fear. His once stable life now felt like it was balancing on a knife's edge. But there was no turning back. No matter how devastating the truth might be, he had to face it. This was the moment his suspicions would either be confirmed or shattered. Then came the day Michael had both feared and awaited. David called, his voice calm but firm. "I found what you're looking for." Michael's hands tightened around the steering wheel as he drove to the same small office where this all began. His thoughts raced. Was there still a chance this was all a misunderstanding? Or was he about to see undeniable proof that would break him? Sitting across from David once more, Michael braced himself. The investigator slid a thick, meticulously arranged file across the desk. With trembling hands, Michael opened it. The first photograph alone felt like a punch to the gut. There was Jessica, his wife, the woman he had loved and trusted, entwined with another man. Image after image confirmed the horrifying reality. Jessica holding hands with her lover in public, sharing drinks in a dimly lit bar, and then, the final blow, walking into a hotel together. Each picture was another dagger to his heart, tearing apart the illusion of the marriage he thought he had. But the evidence didn't stop there. David presented hotel receipts, all booked under Jessica's name, corresponding to nights when she had claimed to be working late. He handed over printed messages, exchanges between Jessica and her secret lover, overflowing with affectionate words and carefully planned rendezvous. There was no room for doubt, no space for explanations. As Michael sifted through the damning evidence, a surge of emotions threatened to consume him. His entire body tensed as he absorbed the undeniable proof of Jessica's betrayal. A wave of rage surged through him, swiftly followed by a crushing sense of heartbreak. The years of trust they had built, the memories they had created, shattered in an instant. His mind reeled, reliving their life together through a new, painful lens. Moments he once cherished now felt tainted, corrupted by the cruel reality of her deception. For a brief moment, he felt utterly lost, drowning in the weight of what he had uncovered. But then, amidst the storm of emotions, something within him shifted. A cold, unwavering resolve began to take hold. Jessica had made her choice. Now, it was time for him to make his from heartbreak to justice. This betrayal will not go unanswered. Michael's sorrow gives way to determination as he grips the undeniable proof of Jessica's infidelity. The evidence in his hands is more than just photographs and receipts. It's his weapon for the battle ahead. No longer drowning in despair, he shifts his focus toward the next step, ensuring justice is served. This moment marks a critical turning point, transitioning from the quiet tension of investigation to the storm brewing in the courtroom. The weight of the revelation keeps the stakes high, drawing the audience into the unfolding drama. How will Michael confront the woman who shattered his trust? How will he fight for what is rightfully his? With clarity of purpose, he understands that he needs the best legal representation to navigate the impending legal battle. Refusing to let emotions cloud his judgment, he meticulously searches for a top-tier attorney. After several consultations, he chooses Daniel Graves, a powerhouse lawyer in Chicago, infamous for his ruthless courtroom strategies and ability to dismantle opponents with precision. Their first meeting is a pivotal moment. Seated in Daniel's sleek, high-rise office, Michael lays out the findings from the private investigator. With a practiced eye, Daniel flips through the pages, absorbing every detail. The photos, the receipts, the messages. He nods as he connects the dots, a knowing glint in his eyes. After reviewing the case, Daniel leans back and delivers his verdict. We have a strong case. He lays out the strategy. Jessica's infidelity will not only be exposed, but the case will highlight her misuse of marital assets and breach of trust. Their goal is clear: to secure the most favorable outcome for Michael in the divorce proceedings. Every move will be calculated, ensuring Jessica's actions leave no room for justification. The preparation begins immediately. Daniel advises Michael to gather any additional supporting evidence, financial statements, communication logs, and any records that could further reinforce their case. Over the following weeks, Michael works closely with Daniel and his legal team, meticulously piecing together the timeline of Jessica's deception. Every text, every unexplained expense, every discrepancy is scrutinized and documented. As the case builds, Michael experiences a whirlwind of emotions, anger, sadness, and a newfound sense of empowerment. Instead of allowing his pain to consume him, he channels it into action. Each legal step transforms his mindset, shifting him from a victim of betrayal to a man reclaiming control over his life. This phase bridges the emotional devastation of discovering Jessica's affair with a measured, strategic pursuit of justice. The stage is set for the inevitable courtroom showdown, where Michael will stand face to face with the woman who shattered their marriage. Under the unforgiving eyes of the law, the truth will finally come to light. This is only half of the story. The rest will be revealed in the next chapter. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Narrative Stories. Many of you watch these stories without subscribing. By hitting that button, you become part of a community that values deep, meaningful storytelling. Let's continue exploring these gripping journeys together. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you won't miss what happens next.